Hello and welcome. I'm Maria Ressa. This is Rappler Talk, and today with us is Bakar Atyani. He was held hostage by the Abu Sayyaf for 18 months, and he is back in the Philippines. Bakar, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, and I'm happy to be back in the Philippines.
It is good to have you back in Manila.
Thank you very much.
18 months with the Abu Sayyaf. I mean, I cannot imagine what that is like. How did this affect you?
Well, I thought I should look into it from a positive way, in a positive way. I know I've been given another life. Now I say I have two birthdays. Yeah, 4th of December is my also birthday, when I got back my freedom. So I think now I appreciate more life, appreciate things around me more, and I think nothing I can call it now a problem after what I have seen.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is what always I say. I could have some challenges, but there is no problem. When I was there, I used to think about what is the biggest problem I have faced before my kidnapping. And I thought there was nothing called a problem in life, actually. It's just a challenge. So I think this made me more happy, more positive, and looking forward to do better things in life. And at the same time, I want to carry on with my job, because I believe more now in this job, being a journalist. I guess it's a noble job, giving truth to people, exposing corrupt people. I think it's something I believe in more now.
How did you survive the 18 months?
The hope. I always had this hope in my heart that I'll be back one day, and I'll be telling people about what happened to me. So this hope that I kept in my heart, definitely it was not all the time. Every day I used to feel that I want to really survive. At the same time, every day I used to feel, no, there's a hope that one day I'll go back to life, I'll meet my loved ones, I'll see this life again. So this feeling of being like sometimes very hopeful, or sometimes you totally collapse. Mm-hmm. I used to feel it every day. But in general, I was very optimistic, and I was feeling in my heart that one day I'll go back to this life, and I'll meet the people again. And I used to keep myself busy. Like, I've learned how they build their huts, for example. I used to watch them, how they cook, and I learned some of their dishes, and I cooked it when I came out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And you learned tausug.
I can say that, and can understand it more than I speak it. I can understand it. Spending 18 months with people who only speak tausug makes you you need to understand it. You could understand it from the way their body language, keywords they are using. Like they used to call me, they don't say you hostage, they call you manuk. Manuk means a bird. Yeah. They say manuk means the bird. So I got to learn too many things there. Yeah.
You interviewed Osama bin Laden. You went to interview the Abu Sayyaf. I mean, what's the difference between an Osama bin Laden and the leaders of the Abu Sayyaf?
Well, I guess Al-Qaeda is more ideological. And back then, when I interviewed bin Laden, they were in need for media. They need the media. Yes. I guess Abu Sayyaf is less ideological, more money driven group. Definitely they are the Muslims Muslims in that part of the world, but I don't think they can be classified as like an Islamic militant group. They might be militants, but they are more towards money. It's kind of a mafia, an organized mafia group. It can be classified as a group of gangsters, thugs. Mm-hmm. I don't think they are more than this.
So really, nothing to do with ideology, nothing to do with
absolutely. They have nothing to do with ideology. ASG, they have nothing to do with ideology, because even they don't know much about the ideology they are claiming they believe in. They know nothing almost, or they have less knowledge. People who living in the jungle, they didn't go to school. They didn't. Some of them don't know how to read even. So I always say they are, and I'm not here. I'm not kind of trying to insult anyone, but in fact, I'm describing the situation. They are ignorant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else did you learn about the Abu Sayyaf in your 18 months with them?
Okay, Abu Sayyaf is not a group that is, we should classify it as a group well structured, with a hierarchy, with different like leaders. No, in fact, it's just the biggest group, the biggest family in Sulu. Sahirun's family made him the leader of this ASG. At the same time, you have different other subgroups, sub-leaders who work independently. And to get the name of ASG, like a franchise, they need to give spoils of these ransoms or whatever money they get to the main leader of ASG, who is Radulan Sahirun. So it's just like, as I said, an organized crime group.
Do you think a military solution works? Like the government now is throwing thousands of troops into Holo. Do you think that will solve
I don't think this would help alone, because I believe, and I have enough evidence, I can't say evidence, but I have witnessed enough to say that there are too many people outside the jungle who are involved and helping ASG, giving them, giving the tips whom they should kidnap, getting involved in negotiations, supplying them with ammunition and weapons, protecting them, using them. So there are too many people who are the beneficiaries of what is called ASG is more than the group itself.
From what you saw there, how do you solve a problem like the Abu Sayyaf?
Well, I think one, development, education, clean governance, not corrupt governance. And definitely there are hardcore elements which you can't deal with them but with a military force. Yeah.
What about the links to ISIS now that this is your first time back in the Philippines?
Yes.
Right? I mean, my gosh, again, welcome back. But it's changed since you were held hostage by the Abu Sayyaf. I mean, what change do you see watching it from outside?
Well, this link to ISIS is the most important link, because I guess they are more ideological than the other groups.
Right.
And making the peace in Mindanao on the waiting could really worsen the situation. I think there should be a quick solution. This agreement with the MILF, I think, should take place quickly in order really to people should see development in that part. People should see a peace. I think this could really help. But keeping it on the waiting this way, this would really make this kind of more ideological, the extreme elements within these militant groups like MILF, even MILF, even ISG, because we could see there are from these three groups, now what they call it Philippine state, IS Philippine state came out.
Right.
Yeah.
When you were kidnapped, you were certain that a Filipino journalist helped in this. Could you tell us more about that?
Well, as you know, I can't really accuse him, but I have enough evidence to name this gentleman as a suspect. I have enough evidence, and I have given it to the police, that this journalist was involved in this kidnapping episode. To what level, I'm not sure, but he was involved. He was aware of what's going to happen to me. He was giving he told them about me. He gave him the tip. He planned it well in a way that I should land in the hands of ASG. Now I have enough evidence to support what I'm saying. Yeah. Still, I can't really accuse anyone immediately, but I can say he is a suspect. He should be interrogated. He should be really. He should really come in front of a court in order to defend himself.
Do you see any movement at all in the case? That you were there for 18 months, and that was a few years back, right? Do you see any shift?
About my case,
yes.
I haven't heard anything. Yeah.
And we talked a little bit about ISIS. How do you see this playing out? Let's say 5 years from now.
Well, with this situation in Mosul, and maybe they will move to Raqqa, I could recall with this all the situation in Afghanistan after the Soviet invasion, and then the Afghan controlled Kabul, and then the infight, and then the fighters who were foreign fighters who were in Afghanistan, they left. They moved to Tajikistan, they moved to Bosnia, they moved to Chechnya, and then they moved back to their own original countries. So definitely with this pressure, everyone will go back to their own countries. And unfortunately, the only spot they can really take refuge at this stage in Southeast Asia is Southern Philippines.
So what do you expect to happen?
I think unless there is a quick solution to the situation, or to handle the situation, we would see the same old scenario.
It's a different generation, but a new one, right?
We have seen Bali bombing, we've seen this all connection from Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, and this connection will come into life again.
I hope that our government prevents that from happening. I'm going to go back, one last question, back to the man. It takes a particular kind of courage for you to speak about it in such hopeful terms now, right? I mean, that's during the darkest hours of that 18 months that you were there. What kept you going?
I have made a peace with myself there that I want to live, but I have no problem to die. Yeah, I mean, I have made this peace with myself, so this really helped me a lot, and I was very comfortable between me and myself. At the same time, as I told you, this hope that I will go back, and I will. It's not my place actually to live in this jungle with these ignorants, which sometimes I really feel sorry for them, because they don't know anything about this life. They know only this world that's surrounding them. That is the jungle.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Bakar. We've been speaking with Bakar Atyani and what kept him through 18 months of being a hostage at the Abu Sayyaf, and the way he looks at where things will go in the future. I'm Maria Ressa. Thanks for joining us.